There we go. Welcome to all the participants across the world, and thank you to all the panelists that is already done. Yes, Walvis Bay Port users established in 1994, currently holding 52 members, and members are all service providers moving cargo in and out of the port of Walvis Bay. So we have seen where we are now with Namport, with Walvis Bay Corridor Group, with Namibia. But where do we want to go? We have seen that going forward, now it is all about your positioning and infrastructure of the service providers. COVID-19 has definitely made big changes in the industry of the private sector, and everything is changing rapidly day by day. We have seen that through bill of ladings, through full supply shipments, door-to-door shipments is growing very, very fast, especially with under COVID, so that there is minimum handling of the cargo and obviously only one person to deal with. This will go on like this for the next couple of years, most probably, and it will grow. Therefore, we as the industry will have to grow with new implementations, actions. And we have seen that Namibia was a little bit slow in the e-commerce. And now everybody, it's a positive spin-off of COVID. Everybody has learned, and everybody is accelerating now to go moving to online platforms and to really participate with IT development and positive participation. So the role players that affects the private sector and the Walvis Bay port users to move cargo in and out of the port of Walvis Bay to landlocked countries, as we've seen on the previous panelists, are obviously the port users, the container liner operators forum, the shipping lines calling at Walvis Bay, logistics associations, Chamber of Commerce, the port, Namibia Transport Associations, municipality, Namibia for the rail part, the Roads Authority, Road Fund, and then most crucial, and this is a very, very important part, is the Ministry of Works and Transport, the Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and SME Development, the Ministry of Finance, and Home Affairs and Immigration. Solo, one can do nothing. It must be a very, very well-oiled public-private partnership participation to get everything well-oiled to make the transit time within Namibia on a full supply shipment very, very effective. We've seen on the slide, and the next slide, I think we've seen of the transit times that we want to achieve. To be able to achieve that, there should be no delays or operational breakdowns in a port or during the transit time or at the exit border post, because any delay, any dwell time is obviously converted to additional costs that makes the whole Walvis Bay port unattractive. Coming to our Walvis Bay Corridor Group and the Namibia Logistics Hub project, cementing Namibia as a logistics hub. We have been doing this since 1994, and the awareness has been created, cemented. However, we still need to do something to lower the cost of doing business in a full supply and shipment. That's imperative to remain competitive so that the client knows at the end of the day, there's no added costs. As you can see, we need to strive to grow capacity, resources, equipment, maintenance. With that, it goes with training. It goes, the whole exercise needs to grow continuously. There is no end to that. So you need to develop, you need to ensure that your rates are correct. You need to make sure that there are no delays. You need to maintain productivities, efficiencies. And then this is not only in the port and in the supply chain or part of the transit supply chain, it is also at the exit border posts. If we want to grow the volumes, and we must be ready to handle that. We have seen in the last 3-4 days the situation at Bridge border post in South Africa. It's for the last 21 days so congested that it is a nightmare, and that is added cost, and we do not want to get there. So we need to strive, and our ideal will be to continue to grow, and there comes the public-private partnership in with the ministries to make sure that their backup systems, the border post, the IT systems, it is all positioned in such a way that we minimize any delay, dwell time, slowdown or interruption of service, and we need to see how we can maximize operational time. Do we increase working hours? Do we use shift system? Or however we need to do that. But that goes hand in hand with IT development and with direct links from the port and the customs to exit border posts, so that we can ideally minimize the paper red tape delay and maximize the efficiency of crossing at the border post and minimize any dwell time. Together with that is the communication between the government, the ministries, any regulations, information that is shared, etc. Anything of such a nature, if it is shared effectively and in time, it gives the chance to the port users and the private sector to position themselves, inform the client, and minimize any delay and or oblige with whatever requirements are there, and that will enhance their efficiencies. As we know, it is always difficult to change people's mindsets. But if people are trained and they have a fully understanding of trade facilitation, if they have a fully understanding of service delivery and why and how, and they understand the industry, then they realize their participation holds value. And that mindset we need to change going forward to be able to understand what does it mean to be a logistics hub, an effective logistics hub. It's the full supply chain must be very, very well oiled together, so that not at the port, not at the exit border post, because the chain is just as strong as the weakest link, wherever it is. As you've seen, the Transkonini, Transkaprivi, Transkalahari, it was shown very well by Mr. Chivuka of the Walvis Bay Corridor Group. What is our targets that we want to achieve, and how do we want to grow them? And coming to the Namibian industry and the preparation of the port users and the positioning, is that everybody is offering intermodal Incoterm services on all shipments. They've adapted their business. They have invested in warehouses to handle any type of equipment, any type of cargo. They have lodged the required guarantees with the state bodies, wherever it is, customs, banks, to facilitate shipments, the growth of their business, their infrastructure. They spend money on training their staff. Very important, maintaining ISO standard service levels, because without that, clients would like to know at what service level you will handle their cargo and what will be the outcome. We must remember that any deficiency or inefficiencies at the border posts will lead to additional costs, and then the industry will sit with the cost, and that makes the client choice more difficult to opt for the Walvis Bay port. Very, very important is continuous strengthening the relationships with all role players. It is highly imperative that that is maintained bi-weekly, quarterly, annually, because we can only learn from each other and we need to support one another. That is crucial to grow the business and to make sure that the Walvis Bay port is the port of choice for clients. Coming to the value and benefits is our location. You cannot argue. There's very few people, as Mr. Shivuka and Mr. Hanabab have indicated. We are the gateway to the SADC. There's no thing. How do we go about it is obviously making sure that there's no congestion in productivity, efficiencies all around is very, very important. We do secure the transportation of any type of cargo, especially high value cargoes. We can achieve very competitive turnarounds. We have got good road networks. We have the road and bridges capabilities. We do the development and IT infrastructure to make sure that we grow that, to be able to do EDI services, which is obviously going forward to the answer. And if we do that, we have the access to all the consumers. We just need to make sure that we are competitive. We must also realize that all the corridors that are competing with each other, they have their challenges. They do investments, they have challenges in-house, exterior with clients. However, we need to make sure for Walvis Bay Port, if we are having a proper PPP and we're working together, that we will be the port of the choice of the client. And that I would like to finalize and close my presentation. Thank you very much.